most people see God when the things are going bad for them. Don't do that. Go and think of God when everything is going good.
What religion are you?
What is the religion of this universe? What is the religion of the sun but to give warmth? What is the religion of fire but to burn?
Even nature has an ugly side. How do we become more loving and compassionate while we have to constantly deal with the ugly side of the world? How to witness cruelty and maintain a benevolent heart?
It all falls into our mindset. Nature is just being nature. There'll be times when the wind is calm, and then there's a time that it will be raging. And there'll be times that raging wind will topple some huts and we'll call it, oh, catastrophe has happened. There is too many things involved when man disrespects nature and builds houses where they shouldn't be built in the first place, in the flood zones, etc. Because man has this idea that I can control nature. Nature has its own way of dealing with that. And we call it cruel when it takes away our homes where they shouldn't have been built in the first place. And we call it cruel because man is doing certain things to this nature that shouldn't be done, like global warming, things that we do with pollution, polluting the oceans, and now saying, how come fish has plastic in them, and how come we are eating plastic? And the effects of that are yet to be seen. Yes, nature is just responding to what we put into it. Nature, this planet was here to nurture us. But we human beings feel like we need to control the nature. And nature is not cruel. Nature is just nature. And we think we need the nature to be a certain way. Yes, it can't be. Difficulty is needed just as easiness is needed. Once we realize that difficulty and change is part of it, then it's not. It's just that we human beings have convinced ourselves that life should be a certain way. Life should be comfortable. Life should be all of that. Comfort will never breed great human beings. Soft bed, soft food, soft house will never breed people who will conquer things. You know, the people who go to the moon. Necessity is need of exploration. You know, people will not leave their homes if everything is nice and soft in the home. So God works in very mysterious ways. You have to trust that whatever God is doing, He has a plan. His computer is much bigger than our computer because our computers are very, very, very small, limited. We don't have the computing capacity to see the front, back, and the forward. I trust God. Trust God in this. That I think where a lot of human beings struggle with is we always want things to be good. And that's the mindset that needs to go away, that everything needs to be good and bad is bad, and why is bad happening? When bad is as necessary as good is. Bad is necessary. I'm reminded of a story because this farmer, he was always crying out to God. He said, God, you give me water when I don't need water. You give me sun when I need water. What are you? You should be a farmer. You know how difficult it is to be a farmer. You know, this and that. And one day he was praying really, really well. And the God said, okay, well, here I am. Tell me, what do you want from me? He goes, for one planting season, whole year, give me what I want. He goes, okay, I give you whatever you want. So now, whenever he wanted water, there was rain came. Whenever he wanted sun, the sun came. Whatever he wanted was happening. So he planted his crops, and the crops were coming out, and they were looking nice and green. And wow, man, my wheat, my maize, my everything is looking so good, and it's growing so well. And he goes, this is what I've been trying to tell God, that this is what He should do for us all the time. So what happens is all of these plants grew, but they never had any fruit. Why? Because plants know that if there's plenty of everything, they never make seed. Because they feel like, oh, there's plenty of everything. The plants grew thick and heavy and tall, but they didn't have any corn on them. They didn't have any seeds on them. He goes, what's going on, God? Like I gave them water when they wanted, everything wanted. He said, difficulty was also needed. When the plant was under threat, he felt like, oh my God, I need to make sure this plant continues, next life grows. So it gave fruit and made seed for the next generation. But once it knew that I have plenty of everything, I don't need to grow no more. So that's what happens to human beings. Difficulty is needed. You can't make good fruit if there was no difficulty. I can tell you from my own experiences, difficult times made me. Difficult times made me. Soft times only made me soft. You basically become set in your ways and you say, it's all good. But the difficult times forced me to grow, to create, to be creative, to expand my horizons of solution finding, etc., etc. That's when I truly grew. I did not grow when things were soft. And we all have difficulties in our lives. And the day you can say, my difficulties were needed for me to become who I am, then, as I was telling you earlier, thorn is just as much needed as the flower is. And the flower serves a purpose, so does the thorn. And you say they both serve a purpose. Flower, for the rose to be a rose, the thorns were needed to protect it. And again, I come to this thing, people say, this earth is not perfect. The human drama is not perfect. There's so much cruelty, so much this. No, we are here for experiences, and you can't have experiences if everything is good all the time. You just have to find your lessons, life lessons, experiences, and for that, drama is needed.
Yeah.
Ups and downs.
True.
Karma we just take to be like an underlying assumption. But how do you know there's karma?
Okay, I'm going to give you a totally different answer. Mm-hmm. There are certain physical laws that you take as guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Newton's law of gravity. So that's on the physical aspect of all the atoms and the whole creation and the planets and all that. But on an emotional level, on an organic level, how is gravity represented? It's love. What is gravity between two planets? Love is between two bodies. That in human beings, love is gravity. You understand? Because we are also physical beings. We have physicalness about it, but yet we have an emotional tinge and a sensitive touch. So where does that gravity come into that mode? Similarly, karma. Each action shall have equal and opposite reaction. Karma. That's as simple as karma. You hit something or hit something that way, it's going to come back with same force. How is that represented in human life is through karma. You have to understand that just because those laws are in the physical universe, and just when they come to human life and human emotions and human living, they disappear. No, they're here. So if you want to experience true love, because most of the times love that we feel is situational, matlabi, there has a selfish tinge behind it all the time. Feel it like gravity is always present. Gravity is always present. Moon is far away, Earth is here. Their love story is the gravity. Their love story is gravity. And you have to understand that. Equal and opposite is how is it represented in human beings and human behavior and all of that. We call it karma. That's all. But it's there. It's just because it's in a physical universe, it does not mean it disappears. No, it becomes more emotional, more sentimental, more whatever we human beings are, whatever characteristics it has, it takes on that shape. But it is that. So yes, you assume karma, but karma is there. Karma is there. One thing I'll say, some karma you get results right away. Meaning two guys of opposite body weight, one guy slaps the other guy slaps him back. Karma happened right then and there, right? That's immediate. But some karma have to ripen. That's a very interesting one. Some karmas are like a seed that you planted. It's going to take time to ripen. It's going to become a plant first, and then it's going to give its fruit. That time should not be confused for absence of karma. It will happen at the most opportune time when it can give you the biggest lesson. Some karmas happen later, but it is there. Some karma takes time to ripen. Just understand that they do happen. Sometimes a karma can overlap lives. If what we did in this life, maybe we were really good at hiding it and we hid it, and maybe we were in a position of power and we hid it. But in next life, there's next life. On a very strange note, you always find some really great spiritual beings die a very terrible death. Like we can take Jesus Christ. Take some of Sikh gurus. When you really think of the death that was given to them, very difficult. What happens with a spiritual person? Why do they die such a death? Their karma, they're not coming back. Great souls are not coming back. They have done their part, but they also might have had some karma left over that still needs to do the accounting. Really, that's how it happened. Even Guru Gobind Singh Ji died from a knife wound, right? So what I'm trying to say is a lot of spiritual people you find, Osho died of plutonium poisoning. So you wonder, like, how come they died such a difficult death? So when you start thinking like that, you say, their karma books are getting closed now. There will not be no more accounting of their karma. For us, next life, we might have to pay for it. I can tell you something, and it works both ways. Karma is, I'm not talking just for the bad deeds, even for the goodness. You might have done spiritual work in your past life. You might have done some spiritual. That spiritual work has brought you here today. You had a choice today. You could be out there having a nice drink at a bar right now. But you guys are here. Your karma from past brought you here. You have spiritual karma from previous lifetimes also. So all types of karma comes into play. There's spiritual karma. There's if you fed somebody, there's that karma. You showed somebody the right path, there's that karma. You were mean to somebody, there's that karma. You spoke words of hurt that basically debilitated some people. That karma is all there. It's all there. It doesn't go away. Every action shall have equal and opposite reaction. But on just a human level, it comes across differently. But it's there. It's the underlying principle. It's a law of karma. It is not... It is law of karma. It is for certain.
So, how would you say that karma is connected to our lineage, our ancestors, the generations that came before us? I have witnessed myself paying for something that was. Children often become.
There's a word for it. I think it's what is called generational, trauma, right? Generational trauma. But what I would say is, I put it a little bit differently. Yes, there's physically, it seems like there's a lineage-wise, I am paying for my ancestors' mistakes or good fortune. Or both ways, remember, both ways, right? Because look, you might have the gene pool today that doesn't get cancer, or no high blood pressure or a heart disease, etc., etc. So we don't count those as blessings that are coming from generational also, right? So the looks, you might be really good looking and you're saying, wow, thank you, mommy or grandma or grandpa or whatever that is. So what I'm saying is this works both ways. But I say it's in a different sense. You are a being, and when you passed away in your previous life, you were looking for experiences. And you chose the family that would give you those experiences that you were seeking for your growth. So family was chosen, and generational trauma and good deeds are all part of that package. So you chose that I need experience like this, and you had that. So you never know. So the karma is very strange way it works. And I could sit here all day and I couldn't give you all of the workings of karma. But just know the best way is be aware of what type of karma am I sowing today. What type of karma am I sowing with my deeds today and with my words today? And most importantly, with my thoughts today. What type of karma that nobody saw? I had these thoughts. Yes. Nobody saw. Nobody got harmed, but the karma did happen. It did. So you have to be on guard for that. You just have to be aware. Aware. Awareness is the key in karma. You guys haven't asked the obvious question. If karma is absolute certainty, and the karma binds, because, if you do good karma, you have to come back and reap that. You do bad karma, you have to come back and reap that.
When does it end?
When and where and how do I get out of this? Right? Because then that would be insanity personified. This creation is insane. But it's not like that. There is a way out. There is a way out. If you're a creature of mind, so I'll show you both paths, 2 paths, how to get out of karma. If you are a creature of your mind, do everything with supreme awareness. Do everything with awareness. Such awareness that, hey, somebody even swore at you. Now you can stand there and give an answer back. I say, no, this person is maybe having their day today. I will not return it. Because just because they have thrown crap at me, me throwing crap at them, is not going to make the situation any better. Bring awareness to the game. If you are constantly bringing awareness when you're in your mind, now you could also use a different method if you are in your heart. And that method is, this person is a piece of God. I cannot think bad of them, even though they swore at me. They don't know that they are pieces of God. They don't know. But I know they are piece of God. They are God's creation. They're God's children. I need to remember there's God in them. And when a customer comes into your place, treat them as if God has walked in. A client on the other line on the phone, don't lie to them so you can make your commission. Understand, tell them the truth. You might still make commission, you might still make double commission. But what I'm trying to say is, don't be that person that creates karma. You say, no, they're just like my own parents. These people on that I'm trying to convince to buy this thing. And would I want to do this, somebody to do this to my parents? Or now you can substitute God. Would I want somebody to do that to me? Just have that awareness that God resides in all transactions. Receiver is God, giver is God, giving is God. Now karma belongs to God. Now you have basically what you have done by remembering God in each transactions, you have basically put the karma on God's plate. Say, this is yours now. And now karma cannot bind you. Karma will bind you if you think, I did that. I am the doer. Even if you did charity, you say, I did it. But karma is yours.
Yes.
If you think, I did it, everything belongs to you. If you think you are the doer, then the karma is yours. But if you say, no, I am a surrendered being, I'm a surrendered to God and I will only do what God impels me to do. Now karma cannot touch you. It belongs to God. Right? There is charity. There are people who go looking for charity.
Yes.
Right? Now they're looking for charity to be good and have good karma. You understand? Sometimes their charity sometimes creates more trouble than any benefit because they went looking for it. The best way to do charity or giving or sharing of yourself is if universe, God has put you in a position to help and you have the wherewithal and the sources and the resources to help, then you say, God brought me here. God, you brought me here. This is what is in my heart. I let it go. You help from that point of view. So you brought me here. I want nothing in return. I'm not asking you, give me a place, in heaven or whatever. I'm not looking for that. You brought me here. You gave me the resources to be able of use at this point. I did my very best and leave it. Leave it. Another thing to know about karma, very weird. Reaction is karma. Response is freedom from karma. You react, karma is created. You respond, no karma is created. That has to be understood. Don't react.
That's powerful.
Huh?
That's very powerful.
It gives all the power to you. It puts the ball squarely in your court and says, okay, what are we going to do? Am I going to react every time somebody says something to me? I'll be bound here. I'll be bound. What is the end of reacting mind? You react, they react, you react more, they react more, they react more. Soon there's war. So there is no end to karma from reacting. I will not take the reaction out of you. All reaction is karma creating. And we human beings don't realize it. We are karma creating machines.
How can you take the reaction out of you?
By developing awareness and ability to respond. Response, ability, responsibility in that way. Not responsibility in a way, oh, I'm responsible for this, I'm responsible for this. Just bring ability to respond.
And without making it personal.
Absolutely. And that's the whole thing. You look at somebody who just sworn at you, you say, I don't know where this person came from that has made him like that. Where is this anger coming from? I wish him well, but I don't have to respond to this person. I don't. And you don't do it because you don't want bad karma. You just are just so aware that, no, I'm going to let this person go. I'm going to let this person go, and I won't allow him to create that. So karma is just do everything as if God inside of you is doing everything. One thing that is very difficult for humans to give up, in Hindi Punjabi it is called karta bhav. I am the doer. Doership is so hard to give up. Because, oh, I did that, I built that building, then we did that, then I bought that property, then we did this, and then we did that. Oh, then I made such nice chapatis and such nice food and all of that. Like, there is always this doership hiding. And what is this doership? This you claiming doership is you saying, is worship of your I. Some people do it directly, but some people know the art of doing it indirectly. But they're doing it anyways. You understand? Some people are really good at sidewinding in such a way so that, deflect. Okay, I want the credit, but I'll let it deflect off there, from there, and then it'll come here. But they're so good at that because they're master manipulators of that. But you still were there. It is your volition that matters when you do things. It is your inner volition that matters. Doesn't matter what you show to the world. What you hide behind your words and what you hide behind your deeds. That's what matters. If there's truth and love in you, and that's your guiding principles, nothing touches you. Nothing can touch you. So develop the ability to respond to a situation. And that's what it has to be. One of the things that meditation should give you is the awareness to become alive and alert to situations and say, oh, this is what's happening now. I better, I sense it. No. Yeah, you say, I just took credit for something that maybe I didn't deserve it. I just did it. And no, I won't let that happen. And you go back and you say, correct it. Say, guys, credit belongs to this person. Credit belongs to that person. And these things happen, we human beings are very, very sharp. And our worship of me and mine and I is so intricately woven in our fabric that sometimes not knowingly we are doing it.
Once I started meditating, even when the pain body got triggered and I reacted and I behaved in a pattern, I became aware of it. I watched myself repeat the pattern over and over again until I was in the place to stop myself from repeating it again.
Absolutely.
So even surrender becomes like a process.
Absolutely. I put it a little bit differently. Our habits are so well entrenched in us. Our thought patterns are so entrenched in our mind that physically our habits and our mentally our thought processes are most of the times lacking behind where we spiritually want to be. We spiritually want to be in a different world, but our actions and our thoughts don't match it. I try to tell people it is like you're driving a semi-truck. You want to do a U-turn, but the U-turn is going to take time. You are driving a semi-truck of habits, mental habits and physical habits that don't allow you to break free. It takes time. Keep doing it. Just turn. And a lot of times it happens that people say, I aspire to be this, but sometimes the words come out of my mouth that do not dignify where I want to go. Or my past reactor. Yes. This misalignment with where they want to go will always remain so. And it should remain so because you want to progress more and more. You understand? Just when you're spiritually, you're seeking this, and you're mentally and physically, you're at this level. By the time you will creep close, your spiritual is also going to move higher. Your spirituality is going to be seeking other plateaus. Other areas. So spiritually you'll keep moving higher, and your habits and all of those will come in behind it. So once you understand that, yes, this is going to take some practice. It's going to take knowing that I get triggered here. Intricate is the jail that we have woven for ourselves. And we have to remember that. We wove this jail ourselves. We wove this world for ourselves, and now we are trying to get out of this matrix of thoughts and saying, I seek clearer skies. Been there, done that, don't want it anymore. I always tell these guys, I said, when intelligence becomes in service to your ego, it is very likely to become cunning. Intelligence in service to your ego eventually becomes cunningness. So you now have to be aware that I will not allow, because ego will make you contort and distort your intelligence in such ways that it will become cunning, because now you are in a service to a master that will ask you to compromise your spirituality, your ethics, your yes. So that's what has to be avoided. Intelligence in service to ego eventually does become cunning. And the problem with cunning is it cuts both ways. You think you're chopping up other people, like, oh, I can run circles around other people. Like I can do this and that to them.
I can destroy you in seconds.
Yeah, you become so good at your words and all of that. But what you don't understand is this knife of cunningness has two sides. Yes, you think you are thrusting this knife into others, but it's also thrusting into you. And you realize, I am sacrificing a lot more. I'm sacrificing my spirituality. I'm sacrificing my most precious gifts that I was given. And no more will I do that. And that's when intelligence has to come to your rescue. Same intelligence that became a servant of your ego now has to come to your rescue. Say, I will not go there. Intelligence combined with awareness now has to become the scalpel and the knife that will get you out of instrument of your liberations. That's what it has to be. And liberation comes, but it's nothing like this.
Yeah.
It is not a sudden phenomena. It is a slow extracting of yourself. I also tell certain people that it does not matter where you began your life, what karmic debt load you were under, what type of habits you had, what type of thought processes you had. Ends how matters how you finish at the end. So how you started, what you were like 5 years ago matters, but it doesn't matter that much. Matters who you are today. Matters who you will be when we leave this earth. So these things are important that we understand that I'm a work in progress. If I wasn't a work in progress, there would be no need for me to come here. I'm only here because I have certain things to sort out. To sort out, I have come here. And seeking my freedom from karma and my thought processes. That's why thought processes are so important in karma. Because what you think here, most people don't realize how judgmental we are in our thoughts. We're judging other people, what they're wearing, what their hair is like, what their clothes are like. God knows, what they're driving, how they're standing, how they're eating. We're judging everything, and what we don't realize is that judging attitude of yours eventually ends up judging you also. And that judging attitude then makes you dance. It makes you a puppet in his hands. Then you end up doing bidding of your judging mind all the time. Because if you thought those clothes were not good, now you can't be wearing those clothes. You have to wear something that suits your judgment. And now you'll have to do a dance to get those type of clothes. If you were made fun of somebody else's car in your own head, you can't be seen driving that car. You're going to have to find a different car. That might require higher payments. Now you're going to have to dance for that. So everything, this judgmental mind ends up playing on you. So whenever a judgment comes in your head regarding anybody, anytime, let it go. Because if you judge others, you definitely judge yourself.
Because you can't see in others what you don't see in yourself.
Yeah. So just let it go, These small things, but they matter a lot. They all accumulate. And
one question. What is the difference between experiencing contrast and judging a situation or others? Because when you this I learned from Abraham Hicks, that contrast gives birth to desire, which propels you further towards growth. And I feel like there would be a very fine line where you acknowledge that you are experiencing a contrast and then you start creating a story around it or passing judgments.
Contrast is a need of your mind. Mind operates through contrast. But left unchecked, contrast left unchecked becomes comparison in human beings. I will explain a little bit more. You only know light because you have also been subjected to dark. You only know night because there is a day. You only know day because there is a night. You only know tall because there is somebody who is short. You know that. You know that. You only know that this road is safe because you feel this side is unsafe. It is needed by the mind to evaluate what is safe, what is not good, what is what. Contrast is needed. Everything black, white, and 1,000 shades of gray in between is needed. All of it is needed by the mind to navigate this earth. To navigate the world of duality, mind needs contrast. Because this side is safe, this side is not safe. That tree is tall, that tree is short. This person is good, this person is not good. This person is black, this person is white. All of that contrast is needed. But when this contrast comes into servicing your ego, now it is no longer just contrast, it turns into comparison. Oh, we are not as rich as the other people. I am not as fair as the other person. I'm not as tall as the other person. Oh, we are much better than the other guys. I am much smarter than the other guys. You understand? Now that need of contrast has now taken on a polluted side, and which is now comparison. Even comparison to a certain degree could be needed. This is a better deal for me than this deal. But when you let it loose in your mind and in the world, comparison is a horrible thing. So you have to understand that I need contrast. My mind needs contrast to navigate this earth. And I can make use of that, but I will not allow it to become comparison, where it's always in service to my ego, always servicing my ego, always. And that's where the line has to be drawn. We don't know that, but you have no idea how much you are a victim of comparison. How many times you could have heard from your parents, hey, such and such daughter became doctor. When are you going to start studying? Hey, when are you going to become a lawyer? Such and such, my friend's son has become a lawyer.
It starts in school.
It starts everywhere. Oh, this kid is much smarter than this kid. No, this kid might be smart in arts. He might be rich in music, but in your mathematics, he's not as rich. But you are comparing his skills in mathematics, but yet you're forgetting his skill set as a musician, as music, as maybe just something not even useful he is good at. When we compare like that, and the whole school system is based upon that, and then the college system is compared on that, and then these parents who have been marinated in that type of thinking, they then impose it upon their children, and they give poison to their children. You know, they force a fish to start climbing ropes when the fish is good at swimming. You know, you don't ask a bird to run like a bunny, and you can't ask bunny to fly like an eagle. We have to recognize that all people are unique. And my child, while compared to other people, might not become a doctor or whatever. You know, I just want him to be happy. I hope the world does not give him this comparison, that you are not worth as much because you didn't become a doctor, lawyer, or an engineer. I hope the world does not give it to him. I, as a parent, maybe can help him be who he wants to be. That's the duty of a parent. I will do my part, but I can't help everything that the world has to give him. Hopefully, I can make him smart enough to understand this basic point, that you don't have to fit in, because your son might run into a girl that is maybe bred differently. And now she might not think that you are worth as much because you didn't become, you don't have a job that pays $250,000 a year. Right? So you don't know how we become victims of this comparison thinking and how seeped it is to every aspect of our life.
What religion are you? If you had to put yourself in a religion.
Love.
What is the religion of this universe? What is the religion of the sun but to give warmth? What is the religion of fire but to burn? What is the religion of water but to seek low places?
Mm-hmm.
You have to find your intrinsic religion. Unpolluted, unaffected by the world around you. So, but I think what your question is what organized religion do I follow? Organized religion. Number one thing to understand about organized religion is that they're all fingers pointing at the moon, pointing at God. They're all just fingers. They're not the moon. An idea is not to get attached to the finger. Idea is to seek the moon, to seek God. That's the idea of every religion. All religions are based upon teachings of some sublimely gifted, enlightened people. They wrote all of these things down in Bibles and Qurans and Granths. They were all just preserving the fingers at God. All books and all religions are just that. Let me put it another way. All religions are basically ports, seaports. Once the boats and the ships leave the port and they're in the middle of the ocean, does anybody care which port they left from? At the best, the organized religion can act as a port. At best. But once you go into the ocean, you belong to the ocean. So we are all going there. So if you're asking me what religion am I was born a Sikh. I was born in a Sikh family. I'm very grateful to Sikh religion because it is not a confining religion. It doesn't. There is a wide variety of teachers in the Sikh holy books. You will find Muslim teachers, and if Sikh gurus who composed Guru Granth Sahib were aware of Jesus, they would have definitely included his teachings in there too. Okay, but there was no connection between them. So we need to understand that. Yes, I was born a Sikh. I still go to gurdwaras and all of that. I don't deny any religion. But yet I am all religions. Yet I belong to no one. I'd rather be free to be one with that rather than me confining myself. I'd rather be free. I am no religion, yet I am all religions. I respect and honor every religion. Every finger pointing at the moon has to be respected. Every teacher that started that finger pointing that way has to be respected. I respect them all, love them all. Forget about respect them all. I love them all. I cherish them all. They're all my teachers. Idea is to go to God. Nothing, whether I wear a hat where I take the hat off at a church, or I wear a pug at a gurdwara. Really, just rituals, just rites and rituals. I am not about that. I want to honor where the finger is pointing. I want to go there. I am not holding on to the finger and trying to protect this finger. No, that's what every religion is doing. And look how much harm happens in the name of religions. I'm very grateful I was born in Sikhism. Reason is, I just love the name Sikh. To be student, to learn, to be open and available to learn. And we need to understand that our first Guru, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, gave us a name, Sikh. We are here to learn. That's the name of the religion, learn, grow. And everything that Guru Nanak Dev Ji has ever written in Guru Granth Sahib is pointing towards God. Don't get married to the finger. Go to God. Then you're truly following Guru Nanak. And all the other gurus are saying the same thing. God, 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 God. If you look at Guru Granth Sahib, it is all about God and your ego. What is standing in the way of you going to God is your ego. And they're all just pointing you ways that you can go around your ego, malign your ego, eliminate your ego from yourself, so that you might become available to that moon. So use Guru Nanak. I use Guru Nanak Dev Ji's words all the time. Does that make me a Sikh? Yes. So just because I follow Buddha does not make me Buddhism, because Buddha has great things to teach. Why wouldn't I follow him? I love them all. I honor them all. I kiss the floor that they walk on. I do. And to confining, to say I should be this or should be that, is too confining for me. When the religion should be freedom. Freedom. Because you are seeking that which is supreme freedom. You know, nirvana. You are seeking moksha. And that's given to free, not to bound people. And nothing should bind. All religions are all pointing at God, yet we make a mistake of getting married to these thoughts and ideas. And we start disrespecting God's creation. We start disrespecting, killing people who don't follow this method of pointing at the moon. It's sad. Too much harm has been done in the name of organized religion. Too much harm. You cannot love God if you cannot love His creation. You cannot. You cannot love God and say, I love you, God, I love you, I cherish you, this and that, and then go slit people's throats. Can't do that. Cannot. You cannot disrespect. Forget about slitting people's throats. You cannot kill. Forget about even the thought of killing somebody. It goes against that. Whole thing is about seeking God. Your thirst should be for God. I only know what I know because these things appeal to me from Jesus, Lao Tzu, who's in China, Zarathustra. Like I love all of these beautiful teachers throughout history. I love them all. I don't really care where they're from. I love Mansoor. I love Muhammad. I love Rabia. I love all of these fine, fine people. That's just beautiful souls. They're all contributing to this tapestry of God. And why not? You know, to ask what religion am I is, in my humble opinion, insulting. Because I love all religions and all what they're pointing at. I don't have time, and I just don't want to be tied to rites and rituals of each one. I want that. I want that. That's who I seek. I seek God. God is who I want to resonate with. And if words of Guru Nanak Dev Ji help me, yes, I recite his verses all the time. Like, be more like what Guru Nanak Dev Ji was. He has this beautiful shabad. Karamiheen tan, kare biyanti, kab aave nanakvari. Such a beautiful thing. This is from the days when Guru Nanak Dev Ji was yearning for God. If you really go through with fine tooth comb through his shabad, you can tell which shabds were when he was seeking God and which shabds are when he had found God. So when he says, Karamheen tan, tan is wife. Karamheen meaning unfortunate. Guru Nanak Dev Ji has made himself into a woman, a wife, saying, I am seeking God. I'm seeking my husband, calling God my husband. I'm seeking him. And then if you continue, he goes, my saheliyan, other people are lying with their husbands. My saheliyan, other women, other seekers are lying with their husbands, meaning that they're caught up in the worldly life. I am seeking you, Murari, he who plays flute. He who plays flute in my heart. I am seeking you. When will my turn come? Kab aave nanakvari. When will my turn come? There's such beauty in that. There's such that's who you should seek. All religions should seek that Murari, that flute player, that sings a flute in your heart. That's what religion is about. Not about who wears turban and who doesn't wear a turban, who shaves his head and who doesn't shave his head, who wears a thread around his neck or not, who bows at a church, who bows at a gurdwara, who bows at a temple. It's not about that. It's about you having a relationship with that God. And if that, I am just listening to God. I also want to play with that Murari. I also dedicate myself. I listen to Guru Nanak Dev Ji's words and I start crying, weeping. And sometimes I'm even jealous of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, that how dare he feel so much love for the same God that I feel love. I feel jealous. Then I say, no. But then you stand there and you say, my God, loving God is like, that is okay if the whole world loves him also. It's not like human love, like, okay, that's my love. Your love becomes so expanded. Like, I love the fact that Guru Nanak Dev Ji yearns for God. And wow, such beauty in that. There's also something very beautiful in this. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was a man, married, had children. Yet to seek God, he realized that he needed to have his heart. He needed to have his heart, and that heart needed to be feminine. That heart needed to be feminine. Okay? Heart needed to flow. He was prepared. He was prepared to be feminine. Because that's what heart is, feminine. You cannot find God with all head. It's not possible. If you say, I can find God, most people look for heart through their heart. So you have to have love, so purified, so seeking God. So seeking God with the purity, freedom. But in total freedom. You seek God, you say, and you seek God in all weathers. You know, most people see God when the things are going bad for them. Then, Rabb ji bacha lo. No, man, don't do that. Go and think of God when everything is going good. You say, God, health is good, wife is good, children are good, everything is good. But I miss you. I miss you. I miss you now. I miss you now. I miss you now. Miss God in winter, miss God in summer, miss God in fall, miss God in spring. See Him in falling leaves, see Him in budding plants, see Him in trees, see Him in a snowflake, see Him in children playing outside on a summer day. Seek Him anytime, always. He only comes then. He only comes then. You want God in your life? Seek Him. Take all of your desires, every desire that you have for the world. Every desire for you to become a prime minister, every desire for you to have 50 women, 5 men, whatever it is, every desire for food, everything. Combine it all, and then you go and you put it in the feet of God. That's how you have to seek God. That's when He comes. If there's even a hint of you still wanting to be in the world, He will respect you. He'll say, you go ahead, you deal with the world yet. And that's why cutting all strings is so important. Because you can't rise to God. You can't go that in rarefied air if things are still pulling you. You still have things to achieve and things to do. If you still have things to do and yet to accomplish, then go for it. God says, no problem. Take your time. Right? But you want to come to God. Come with every iota of you and more. And then He comes. I will say one thing to you. And this you can take it to the bank. This is God's promise to you. God's promise is this, that no effort that you will make towards God will ever go to waste. No effort that you will make towards God will ever go to waste. But you seek Him with purity of your heart, even the purity of your seeking. Even there needs to be purity in your seeking. There should never be any selfishness in your seeking. You should never be seeking God for something He can do for you. That's no seeking at all. You're not seeking God, you're just seeking that thing that you were looking for. And you just thought He can help. You can't.
And He will, but
Oh yeah, we are His children. He's going to give us everything. But there's a thing about receiving. More things we have, more things we want. When has things ever filled us? When has anything material ever filled us? When has all the meals that you ate last year ever filled you? That you said, no, enough meals. No, you're going to seek a meal again. Chances are you're still seeking that pizza, the wonderful pizza that you had at a certain spot. Right? When has... take somebody who has slept with a few women. When has that ever filled you? Take somebody who has slept with a few men. Tell me, when has that ever filled a woman? No, it never does. Leaves you a bit more empty next time. Leaves you a little bit more empty next time. Chances are that we try to fill that emptiness again with a similar experience. With a different woman, with a different man, or with the same man. Or a same woman. But it never gets filled. Because this seeking here, we're all seeking God. We're all wanting to go home. We all are seeking God, but yet our seeking is misplaced. Our seeking is misplaced. Seek Him with all you got, and He comes. That's a promise. And this is another thing I'll tell you. You're seeking God, you want God, you empty yourself 5%. God will fill you 5%. You empty yourself 10%, that vacuum in you, He fills it up.
Empty as in hell.
Empty of the world. Empty of the worldly thoughts. Take something out of you. Thank God, I've worked all my life. I'm not seeking advancements or all of that. You became a little bit empty. You said, now I want to go after you. Now your energy that was spent seeking, a higher grade of employment, now that emptiness, you give it to God. You say, I'm saving that for that. That 5% or 2% of your being that got emptied, He will fill it. It's just that we are so full. We are so full. Nothing new can enter us. We leave no room for God between all the things we do for ourselves, our wives, our children, our family, our home, our work, all of that, and all our desires. There's nothing left in it for God. Only we ask for God when we need something. We need something in that. That's the only time, because you think that God will give me everything. And He will do His best to give you that. But make room for God. Make room. Give yourself a little space. And this is my sacred space. Not governed by fear or greed. Only God lives here. Only my love for Him lives here. And then see what happens. See what beautiful flowers grow in that space. See what beautiful music plays in that silence. That's such calmness, such beauty comes forward in that stillness. But we make no room. Most people have no time for this. They got things to do and places to conquer. Very seldom does it happen that I find a true seeker. Very seldom. Seldom. It makes me sad that the true seekers are so less, who seek Him with all their might. And I wish world the magic that they can feel when they go towards God. Once you're addicted to His wine, all other wines pale. When you can feel Him, all other feelings fade. When you can fall into divine resonance, He echoes in you all day long. All day long. All day long He's echoing in you. Spend time with God. Spend time with God. Become empty. And then allow His resonance to echo through you throughout the day. Bathe in that resonance. As I said, no effort from you will ever go to waste when you're going after God.